Hi friend, my name is Abhimanyu Bhattacharjee and as you all know I'm a booktuber and I'm making video on this book. The name of this book is Practice of Brahmacharya. And friends, as I always say, this book is this long and I cannot make this full book in one video. So what I'm doing is that I'm making each and every topic on each and every video so you can understand it in a better way. And friends, if you come sequence wise 1, 2, 3, 4, you'll understand it in a better way. Apart from seeing 18 video, 20 video, 43 video, there is quite possibility that you get confused, friends. Okay. And friends, if you have any doubt, you can directly ask me in the comment section because I do see the comments and I give answer to each and every comment, friends. Okay. And friends, you can also follow me on Instagram. My Instagram handle is Abhimanyu Bhattacharjee 1906. So we'll spell it for you, friends. Okay. It's ABHIMANYUBHATTACHARJEE 1906. And friend, before proceeding further, I would like to tell you do subscribe my channel, like the video, press the bell icon. So whenever I update a new video, you'll get a notification, friends. Okay. So friends, in our last video, I've covered the topic called Sri Lakshmana. And friends, in our this video, I'm going to cover the topic called Bhishma Pledge for Lifelong Celibacy. Okay. So friends, this is 103rd number video and the topic is Bhishma Pledge for Lifelong Celibacy. So let us see what Swami Sivananda is telling to us in this topic, friends. Okay. Bhishma, father was Shantanu. Bhishma's father was Shantanu, who was the ruler of Hastinapur. So here Swami Svananda is telling Bhishma's father was Shantanu, who was the ruler of Hastinapur. His mother was Ganga Devi, and the Bhishma's mother was Ganga Devi. His early name was Devavrata. So Swami Svananda is telling the early name of Bhishma was Devavrata. He was an incarnation of Vasudevta. So Swami Svananda is telling that he was an incarnation of Vasudevta. One day Shantanu went into the forest close to the banks of the Yamuna. So here Swami Svananda is telling one day Shantanu, the king Shantanu went in the forest to close the in the close banks of Yamuna for hunting. He came across a handsome maiden. So King Shantanu went for hunting and he came across a handsome maiden. He said to her, "Who are you?" So Shantanu said that, "Who are you? What are you doing here?" So Shantanu said, "What are you doing here?" So she replied, "I am the daughter of Dasharaja, the fisher chief." So that lady, that girl replied that I am the daughter of Dasharaja, the fisher's chief. My name is Satyavati. So she said that my name is Satyavati. I am engaged at his command in rowing the boat for taking passenger across the river. So she said that my name is Satyavati and I am engaged here in the command of the boat taking the passenger across the river. So I take passenger across this side to that side and that side to this side. King Shantanu wanted to marry her. So here King Shantanu said King Shantanu wanted to marry Satyavati. He went to Dasharaja and asked his consent. So King Shantanu went to Dasharaja and he asked his consent. The fisher chief replied, I am quite willing to give my daughter to you in marriage, but first I want you to give me a promise. So the chief of the king said that I am ready to give my daughter to you for marriage, but first I need a promise from you. The king replied, O Dasharaja, what is that? So the king replied, O Dasharaja, what is that? What is your condition? I will certainly do what lies in my power. So he said, I am certainly going to do whatever lies in my power. The fisher chief said, the son born of my daughter should succeed you. So the fisher chief said, the son born from my daughter should succeed you because he should be the next king of Hastinapur. Shantanu did not wish to give this pledge to the fisher chief. So Shantanu said that I cannot give you this pledge to the fisher's chief because he is a valiant and intelligent son Devavrata. So he has a valiant and an intelligent son, that is Devavrata, whom he loved intensely. So he was a son whom he loved very much intensely. Would have to abandon the throne. So he cannot make him abandon the throne. He would no longer be the heir apparent. So he is not going to be the no longer heir apparent. But the fire of love for the maiden burnt him. So the fire of that love for that maiden burnt him continuously to Shantanu, the king Shantanu. He was in a great dilemma. So Shantanu was in a great dilemma. He grew pale and did not take any interest in the affair of the state. So King Shantanu grew pale and he didn't take any interest in the affair of his kingdom, of his state. He opened his heart to the chief minister whom he trusted. So the King Shantanu opened his heart to the king, to the chief minister whom he trusted the most. But the latter was not able to advise him in this matter. So later the chief minister was not able to advise him in this matter. Shantanu tried to conceal his love for the maiden from his son Devavrata. So Shantanu tried to conceal the love for the maiden from his son Devavrata. Devavrata was wise and was very strong. So Devavrata was wise and he was also very strong. He suspected something and thought that his father was unhappy. So he suspected something and he thought that his father was unhappy. He said, "Oh, his father, oh, beloved father." So Devavrata said, "Oh, beloved father, you are prosperous." So he said, "My father, you are prosperous. You have got everything. You should be no cause for your anxiety." So Devavrata said, "Oh, my dear father, you have got everything. What is the cause of your anxiety? Why are you cheerless now?" So Devavrata asked question to the father, "Hey father, why are you cheerless now? Why you are not cheerful? You are losing your vigor and strength." So he said, "Oh father, you are losing your vigor and strength. Kindly let me know the reason for your grief." So he said, "Kindly let me know what is the reason for your grief. I am ever ready to do what lies in my power to remove it." So Devavrata said, "I am ever ready to do whatever lies in my power to remove it, friends." Okay, so this Swami Sivananda is telling to us in this topic. The king replied, "Oh beloved Devavrata, you are my only son." So the king said that, Shantanu said, "Oh dear Devavrata, you are my only son. If any calamities fall on you, I will become sunless." So he said, "If any calamities fall on you, I am going to become sunless. I will be deprived of heaven." So he said, "I am not going to go in the heaven. You are equal to 100 of sons." So he said, "Devavrata, you are equal to my 100 of sons. Therefore, I do not want to marry again." So he said, "Therefore, I do not want to marry again. But one son is no son according to the words of the rishis." So he said, "One son is no son according to the word of rishis. These thoughts are troubling me in my mind." So he said, "These thoughts are troubling me in my mind." Thereupon Devavrata, accompanied by the old minister and many respectable Kshatriya chiefs. So after that, Devavrata, accompanied by the old minister and the respectable Kshatriya chiefs, went to Dasaraja and pleaded on behalf of his father. So he went to Dasaraja and pleaded on behalf of his father. He asked him to give his daughter to his father in marriage. So he said that you give you give your daughter to my father in the marriage. The fisher chief replied, "O amiable prince, I have already told your father about the condition on which I can give my daughter in marriage to him." So he said, "O wisely prince, I have already said you that the condition in which I can give my daughter to your father." Devavrata said, "O fisher chief, I make a solemn declaration now that the son that may be born of the girl shall succeed my father to the throne." So Devavrata committed that, "I commit you that the son who is going to born from the Queen Satyavati is going to succeed the throne. I shall do all that you wish." So Devavrata said, "I shall do all that you wish." The fisher chief said, "I highly appreciate your noble character and high ideal." So fisher chief said that, "I highly appreciate your noble chief and noble character that is of a high ideal. But your son may expel my daughter's son at any point of time at their sweet will." So he said, "But your son who is going to born, who can anytime expel my son at the sweet will. I entertain a grave doubt on this point." So he said, "I have a grave doubt on this point." So basically he said that, "Devavrata, you're not going to succeed your father, but the son who is going to born from you, that any time can throw my son can out of the throne. So I cannot understand this concept. So he said to Devavrata. So Devavrata prayed, O truth dwell is me forever. So Devavrata said, O truth dwell, this is for me forever. Come and pervade my whole being. So he said, come and pervade my whole being. Give me the inner strength to stick to the vow of perfect celibacy that I am going to take now in the presence of these people. So Devavrata said, now I am going to take the vow of celibacy, vow of perfect celibacy in front of these people. He then resolutely said to the fisher chief, O Dasaraja, listen to what I say from today. So he said to Dasaraja chief, Hey Dasaraja chief, listen from what I say you today. I shall lead a life of strict Nashikita Brahmacharya till the end of my life. So he said, I shall live the life of still Nashikata and the Brahmacharya till the end of my life. All the women of the world are my mother. So he said, all the women of this world are my mother. I am the most devoted and the loyal subject of the king of Hastinapur. He said, I am the most devoted and the loyal subject of the king of the Hastinapur. If I die sonless, I shall yet attain the abode of eternal bliss and immortality. So he said, if I die sonless, still I shall abode the eternal bliss and immortality from heaven at that time. So he said, from heaven I at that time. The celestial dismissal, the gods and the assemblage of sages showered flowers on him and said, This is very Bhishma the terrible. So, all the god, all the celestial deminal being have given thrown flowers on Bhishma and said, This is the terrible being, friends. Okay, so this Swami Sivananda is telling to us in this topic. The fisher chief said, O prince, I am quite ready now to give my daughter in the marriage to your father. So now the fisher chief said, I am quite ready to give my daughter to marriage to your father. Thereupon the fisherman and his daughter accompanied Devavrata to the palace of Shantanu. So after that, the Devavrata and the daughter of Shantanu, Satyavati, accompanied him to the palace of Shantanu. The old minister informed the king about all that had happened. So that old minister informed the king about all that had happened. The monarchs who assembled in the hall greatly appreciated the extraordinary spirit, self sacrifice, and the reunification of the Devavrata and said, Devavrata is really Bhishma. So, after that, the monarchs who accompanied there in the assembled in the great hall said that Devavrata is really Bhishma. The terrible, since then Devavrata bore the name of Bhishma. So, after that, Devavrata got the name of Bhishma. King Shantanu was immensely pleased with the noble conduct of his son and conferred upon him the boon of death at will. So, after that, Shantanu was very much pleased of the act of his son, and immensely he conducted his son and conferred upon the boon of death at will. He said, May the God protect you, death shall never come to you as long as you wish to live. So, after that, he said, Shantanu blessed him, his son, and given him a blessing that you're not going to die up to the moment you want to live. So, up to the moment you wanted to live, you can live. But death is not going to come to you, friends. Okay. So, this Shantanu blessed his son Devavrata, that is Bhishma, that is Ichamrityu. So this Swami Svanandaji is telling to us in this topic, friends. Okay, what an exalted soul! The noble example is an unprecedented one in the history of the world. So what a noble soul, and it was a unpredicted history in the world. No one save Bhishma on the surface of this earth. So, no one saved Bhishma in the surface of this earth. He made such a great sacrifice for the sake of filial duty at such a young age. So, he made such a big sacrifice for his filial duty at a very young age. Bhishma's filial duty and pity might very well be compared to the Lord Rama, to that of Lord Rama. So Bhishma's duty and pity has been compared to the Lord Rama. Bhishma was very firm in his principle. So Bhishma was a person who was very much firm in his principle. He was absolute free from the sight test tinge of selfishness. So Bhishma was completely free from the sight test tinge of selfishness. He was an embodiment of self-denial and self-sacrifice. So Bhishma was a embodiment of the self-denial and also the self-sacrifice. His power and endurance and patience in all the difficult trials he met with were marvelous and unpretended. So whatever he met in his life, the patience and sacrifices, it was unprecedented. He was matchless in fortitude and courage. All the men honored him. So he was a matchless in the fortitude and the courage, and the all men honored him, friends. Okay, so this Swami Sivananda is telling to us in this topic. All the Kshatriya chief paid their homage to him. So all the Kshatriya chief, they paid their homage to him, friends. Okay, so this Swami Sivananda is telling to us in this topic, friends. Okay. He was a mighty yogi and a sage. So he was a mighty yogi and even he was a sage. He was above body consciousness. He rested in his own Satya Chitta Ananda Swarup. So he was always in body. He was above body consciousness, and he always rested in Satya Chitta Ananda Swarup. That is the reason why he was peaceful and serene even though he was pierced by sharp arrow all over his body. So it was the reason why he was silent and cool although he was pierced from the sharp arrow all over his body. Lying on the bed of sharp arrow which was as soft as bed of flowers to him. So lying in sharp arrow also, but it was like a little soft flowers for him. He gave wonderful discourse on political, philosophical, religious, social, and moral subject to Yudhishthir. So he gave a very political, correct political discourse and the moral values to Yudhishthir about religious, political discourse and every part of the thing. Have you ever heard of anyone save Bhishma in the history of the world? So, have you ever heard any person saving the Bhishma in the history of the world who was able to give lofty and sublime discourse on his deathbed? So, he was a person who was able to give sublime and discourse to his deathbed. Bhishma led his life for others. So, Bhishma was a person who led his life for others. He lived to serve and elevate others. So he lived to serve and elevate others. The noble life led by the high soul Bhishma of mighty will force still inspire sterling virtue in this who study his discourse in the Shanti Parva. So the noble life led by Bhishma is going to be remembered who study the virtue in the Shanti Parva. Bhishma died long long ago, but his voice in the Shanti Parva and the ideal and exalted life awaken sublime people to action. So Bhishma died long ago, but still his voice and his teaching are still are there in the Shanti Parva. Sibling people to the action. Righteously duty and enquiry, regress, tapasya and meditation to the day. So regress duty and the regress of the tapasya and to the enquiry of the day, friends. Okay, so this Swami Sivananda is telling to us in this topic. Glory to Bhishma, whose exemplary life of brahmacharya inspires our heart even today and elevates our mind to magnificent height of the divine glory and splendor. So Bhishma is a person whose brahmacharya and the explainer of the life even remind us today, friends. Okay, so this Swami Sivananda is telling to us in this topic. So friends, in our today's video, I have covered the concept called Bhishma, pledge for lifelong celibacy, this topic. And friends, in our next topic, I'm going to cover I'm going to start a new chapter, that is stories and narratives. And the topic will be Jamini Rishi, the power of lust. So this topic I'm going to start in the next video, friends. Okay. So friends, this topic came to an end, and I will be meeting you in the next video. Till then, goodbye. Take care, and I will be meeting you in the next video. Till then, goodbye. Take care, friends. Okay.